Greetings, traveller. Come. Well, it's not a fire yet, but it will be soon. Join me at my fire. Need a drink? Doll? No? Okay. Should drink now. Want to hydrate, in winter. My name is Galeas Seeker. I'm a troubadour, a knight-errant of dawn. I'm trying to practice my stories of travellers and get some feedback. Would you mind listening to one? Tell me what you think. If you absolutely hate it, I won't be offended. You will? Okay, great. Thank you. This story is... it's an interesting one. I like this one. Now, a lot of my stories are true. Some possibly less true than others. It's a bit hard to tell, but really, when it comes to history, it's what you get from the tale that's important, not the facts. This one, I don't know if this has any truth in it at all, but I do like the story. This is The Battle That Never Was. A band of knight-errants once camped in an old manor, long abandoned, but in good shape still. The land was verdant and plants had grown all over the roof. The youngest of them, Lucille, was a witch, and she claimed to feel the power of summer in the area. It was considered a good sign for their quests. As she explored the house, she saw something that she never expected to see. A unicorn standing in the hall. She called out to the others, but by the time they arrived, there was no sign of any such beast having been there, despite there being nowhere for it to go. Lucille continued to explore the house, finding nothing. One of her fellows, Osmond, went to look for her when she didn't respond to calls for dinner. What he didn't expect was to find himself passing through a door and ending up in a snow-crusted forest. Calling out for Lucille, he ventured further into the woods, looking for signs of his fellow knight. The person who he encountered instead was the most striking person he had ever seen. A powerful changeling knight with a crown of ice, her piercing eyes staring down at him. The great white bear by her side growled at him, and he took a step back and put his hand to his sword, but he did not draw it. Not yet. Her imperious tone was clear as she spoke. "What business have you in my domain, child?" Osmond bristled at this. He had passed his citizenship test, was a full adult now. "I am looking for my fellow knight. I think she might have gotten lost." The Queen, for clearly that's what she was, smiled coldly. "There are many interlopers in my domain right now. If she is here to side with them, it will not go well for her or you." Osmond faltered, seeing a power greater than he could face in this queen of ice and darkness. We would not dream of opposing you. I will find her and take her back to our own land so that we disturb you no longer." The Queen looks at the young knight and dismisses him. "If you return to my domain, do so as my ally, or know that you are my enemy." Retracing his steps back to the portal, Osmond spotted Lucille in the distance of a unicorn. Calling out to her, she turned to face him and the unicorn left. When they met, they found themselves by this portal. Lucille asked, "Isn't this exciting?" "The unicorn told me there is a wicked queen who rules this land and keeps always winter. He asked if he would help it to free her. Well, to free the land from her, so it can be summer again." "I don't think we should be here," Osmond replied. "We have our tests. This is not our fight. And how do we know this queen is wicked? It is her land, after all. The unicorn told me this land used to belong to the Queen of Lions, but the Queen of Ice has stolen it from her, and now the land is terrorized by her giants and beasts. If we help them, we can make it a place of joy and glory again. That's worthy of any test." They were still arguing as they returned to the house. When their fellows, Peter and Susanna, heard Lucille's story, they were fascinated and turned to Osmond. "It's it's all flights of fancy. Like, we should get some rest. We have to be back on the road in the morning. Lucille called him a liar and ran off into the house again, with Peter following her. When they didn't return, Susanna went to look for them, roping Osmond into search as well. When Susanna encountered the portal and went through into the wintry realm, she gasped in delight. Finding Peter and Lucille waiting for them, Osmond was unable to deny the existence of the realm. Well, okay, it might be real, but we shouldn't be here. This isn't our fight. We make enemies just by being here, enemies we may not want to have. Peter cut him off. We're here now, and if we fight to free this land for its rightful people, what more glorious deed could we be doing? Have courage and join us. Together we can take on any foe. From what Lucille is saying, we will have an army by our side. We cannot lose. Osmond shook his head. You might have an army, but so do they. We do not know this place or why they fight. You're acting on the word of a unicorn. Like, a unicorn, they're not even real. So, you're not with us? Peter asked. Osmond replied. I am not. I have no desire to make an enemy of the Queen of these lands. I will see you when you return to your senses, if you live that long. As the others departed, Osmond thought back on the words the Queen had said. If he was not to be her enemy, he would need to be her ally. With a sigh, he went back not to the portal, but to where he met the Queen to declare his allegiance. The next morning, the battle was due to begin. An army of changeling knights arrayed in red and gold, many of them astride lions and other magical beasts, passed through the woods to a great plain where battle might be waged. At their head, a changeling queen with golden lions made and crimson's markings swirling across her skin. By her side, 3 young knight-errants, still bedecked in red and gold. Waiting for them, the pale Night Queen, her fiery red hair a contrast to the iced snow around her, and the white bear's pelt around her shoulders. An army of frost giants and wintry beasts stood by her side, along with a single knight in black armour with a visored helm. At the very moment the dawn's light could be considered to have ended, the Red Army charged the army of giants and beasts. Lions and bears tore into each other, while the clubs of frost giants tore swaths through laughing knights who leapt back to their feet. Arrows peppered the tall shoulders of those giants, and spells broke their great clubs, but the onslaught continued. At the centre of it all, 2 queens watched, and their retinue of knights cleared a path. The Black Knight, empowered with the blessings of their queen, seemed to have the strength of 10, while the 3 knight-errants seemed to have supernatural grace and heroism as they carved a path towards the Black Knight and their queen. The inevitable and glorious battle between Black Knight and knight-errants took place in the midst of the chaos and glory of hundreds of warriors throwing themselves into the slaughter. Bodies could be seen everywhere, but in the centre of it all, a spot of calm as both sides turned to watch this duel. The Black Knight was stronger, their shield catching countless blows, but there were 3 knight-errants, and they were faster. Susanna matched the Black Knight's sword and shield of her own, parrying blows, while Lucille entangled the knight's feet with magic, and Peter let forth a hail of arrows. But Peter ran out of arrows, and Lucille drained all her mana, and Susanna found her shield broken by the Black Knight's strength. And still the Black Knight stood, undaunted, barely seeming winded. With their strength depleted, they could not stand against the Black Knight, and when all 3 of them lay bleeding, the circle of watchers parted to reveal the battle was done, the field strewn with the bodies of the fallen, and with the remaining frost giants and beasts ascendant. I told you not to listen to the unicorn. The Black Knight revealed their helm to reveal Osmond, who turned and walked back to the Queen of Ice and Darkness, who had granted them the power to prevail against his friends. My Queen, I have defended your domain and proved myself my ally. May my friends and I return to whence we came. The Ice Queen looked coolly at Osmond. You have proven yourself my ally indeed, but they have proven themselves my enemy. They belong to the Lion Queen now, and I care not what happens to them. You may leave, if that is your wish, but their defeat is their own. The Queen of Lions stepped up to where her knight-errants lay bleeding. "You have proven yourself valiant on the field of glory, and I would have you fight with my knights in each battle we face. You will fight for me and bleed for glory and share our joy in eternal splendor. Or this can be your end, and you can see glory in your next life." And so Osmond returned alone, his compatriots either dead or in the Lion Queen's service, he knows not which. All who heard his tale challenged him to a battle, and in none was he ever able to prove his strength as he had when the Ice Queen gave him power. His tale unproven, it went disbelieved, and eventually he stopped telling this tale of the three knights. But a story told is a story heard, and a story told well is a story that will be told again and again. And so it is, I can tell this story to you, to warn of the dangers of the unknown, and to caution virtue over glory. As I said, I can't be sure if this is a true tale. It certainly has some bits of truth to it. Did you recognise the Eternals? There were three. Catherine Kenney, the Queen of Ice and Darkness. Eleonoris, the Lion Queen. And Jaehaerys, the Unicorn Prince, the betrayer, who leads people into situations where things might not go as they wanted them to. But it works for him, anyway. Now, I hope you enjoyed this story. I certainly enjoyed telling it. If you'd like to stay a while, sharing a drink, you're welcome to. If not, then I bid thee farewell, and I'll see you another time.